A generation of black children have been raised on videos of violence against those who look like them committed by police. Many parents now struggling with how to help them make sense of these traumatic images. Angela Green spoke with two moms who say now more than ever, it takes a village to help their young sons understand what they're seeing and how to cope with their emotions.
I tell them every day that I'm very, very proud of you. I know you're going to do great things.
17-year-old Cameron is his mother's pride and joy. At first glance, many people think he's an adult.
I don't see it myself. I don't think I look that old.
Because he looks big and abrasive, they just see the threat.
Karen Miller remembers one of her most difficult conversations with Cam about race and being a black boy.
When I saw and read the descriptions of Tamir Rice, before I even saw a picture of him, he was described by the police as he looked like a man, and it just took me right to Cam.
That was 6 years ago. At the time, Cam was about the same age as Tamir Rice, who was only 12 years old when he was shot and killed by police in Cleveland, Ohio. The officers were responding to a call about a man with a gun. Rice was at a playground, throwing snowballs and playing with a toy pellet gun. It was all captured on video. For Elena Newbold, those conversations started when her son was in the 4th grade.
In 4th grade, in elementary school, there's a little bit of discrimination. And in that moment, I was like, okay, I have to start talking to him about race because he went to a primarily white school. So I had to start speaking to him about race and how people may not treat you right, but that doesn't mean that you get out of character.
Now 13-year-old Gabe is in junior high school. His mom describes him as very outspoken.
I'm a kid that loves to give back to his community. I'm not some thug off of the street, and I'm just a kid that wants to improve his life and live better.
I actually encourage him to be vocal. Stand up for yourself, advocate for yourself is what I teach my kids. My fear is that people aren't going to understand his advocacy. People aren't going to understand how passionate he is about the things that he holds true or the things that he believes in. And as a result, he's going to be looked at as the angry person or the person that always has something to say.
Both Karen and Elena's parenting skills have shifted with each incident.
We have to be very real when we're talking to our kids and not sugarcoat what's going on. I try and be as honest as possible with my kids because if I'm not honest with them and they go out into this world, I'm leaving them open to a number of things, a number of attacks or a number of failures that they can possibly be faced with because I wasn't honest with them home behind closed doors.
He's driving now. We talk about, literally rehearse what to do if he's ever pulled over.
I don't mind the cleanliness, but she can be a little rowdy. Being the only child, I'm all she got.
Cam and Gabe are part of the Omega Lamplighters Youth Leadership Organization. Royal King founded the mentoring program back in 2008 through his fraternity, Omega Psi Phi. King says mentoring programs like his are needed now more than ever.
It was just a reminder, a grim one, of the big task we have in mentoring our kids, but it's also a calling of pride.
King says their meetings and conversations have helped the kids express their feelings during a time of unrest.
We understand that as black men, we're sometimes taught to bury it, to not express your emotions and to not let people see you vulnerable or hurting from some stuff. And we do the opposite with them.
With the Lamplighters, it's more than one person putting in their input, telling their story about what happened when they were younger.
Usually through the calls with the Lamplighters, we were able to express ourselves in a private environment where we can trust everybody around us, trust them, hear them out, and talk to them about it.
But as King explains, the mentors have had to change their approach to helping the boys understand what they're seeing play out all across the country.
We've really been taking a stronger approach of bringing in more people who don't look like them to not only help our kids so that they're not only comfortable with us, but teaching them how they can be comfortable and still themselves with other people and other men who don't look like them.
And while those conversations continue to help guide these ambitious young men, King and these two parents encourage other adults, no matter what your race is, to get involved in communities outside of your own.
Find out why some of the issues are happening in some of these lower income communities that are minority populated, and figure out how you could help be a part of the solution.
On the other side of fear is greatness. So step out of that fear and step into greatness. You never know the impact that you can have, or that your story, your upbringing can have on the life of a child that's, looking at you.
In Tallahassee, I'm Angela Green.
With the pandemic, King tells us they've had to shift to online video meetings and phone calls to connect with the boys. He adds one of the biggest obstacles his organization faces is finding men willing to become mentors. If you are interested in volunteering with the Omega Lamplighters, or if your son is interested in joining, there are 25 chapters across the country.
In our next half hour, turning tides in 2020. The African American vote holds a lot of weight this year. The push to empower minority voters this election cycle. We've watched it happen across the country. Confederate monuments removed. The history of those symbols in Florida's past and present.